Hello folks, welcome back to the Addicted Bookworm. Alrighty, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video where basically I'm like, yeah, 12 months has arrived and everything. So yeah. Alright, so I'm going to be doing a 9-month review of my Nook Glowlight 4 Plus. This is an e-reader that I bought the 17th of April. I actually had to um, go back and figure out when I did that video, and I discovered when I did the video, and I was like, okay, great. Okay, great. Now I know. Alright, so this one came out, I believe, 2024. I know 2024 was a big year for the releases of e-readers and of various different kinds and companies and stuff. And in April, I decided to buy an actual e-reader instead of a, um, instead of like, having a tablet. And don't get me wrong, I love my Nook tablet, I really do, but this is an actual e-reader. Now, before I begin the review of it, I changed the back of my case. These are not stuck to it. I can change it up if I want to. But I decided, it's a new year, might as well put, okay. So, Barnes& Noble doesn't really bring out a lot of e-readers. They're not like Amazon, where every year there seems to be a new e-reader. I don't know when they decide to bring e-readers out, but in 2024 they brought one out. Now, this was my last e-reader that I bought when I worked at Five Guys, and I will tell you, when I went to Barnes & Noble, there is a video about this, I was like, oh, I was really excited because, a new toy and all that type of stuff. Alright, so I want to be very clear about a couple things. Hold on, I'm going to turn my Kindle off. Alright. So, alright. So, the difference between the Kindle Paperwhite, this is the 12th gen Paperwhite, and the Nook tablet is the size is bigger. What this allows me to do is to read manga. Now, for people that don't know, there is a difference between manga and light novels. And light novels read the same as a book. So I actually have two samples. One of them is, I think, Secrets of a Silent Witch, then have One Piece. And then I actually have a third sample that is, I will tell you, is like, I want to say, it is a manga that the federal government would love to get rid of. And so, I actually spent my $10 gift card on the second volume of this very, spicy, very spicy manga. But the artwork is absolutely beautiful. And, yeah. So, I mean, in Japanese culture, you got magical girls, you've got robots, you've got all these different kinds of things, and you've got, of course, relationships between girls, between boys, things like that. I'm not really into the boy-on-boy thing. But I got this because the artwork was really beautiful. I will complain about one thing. You don't get like a lot of sample. You get probably maybe like 3 pages of sample, and really that doesn't really help you make a decision at all. The great thing about, now I will say this, just like with Kindle, you're allowed to download a sample of the book or the manga or the whatever, and you can like, read it. This also allows you to pay for the item without having to go back in the system and all that. So you have your library, your store, what you've been on, which I'm not going to press because you'll see what I was reading. Search and account, and the account is actually, they have like a reading thing where like every day dive into a book, and and you can do that. So one of the huge things that I really love about my Nook Glowlight 4 Plus is the ability to read manga. Yeah, these are not in color. Even the cover art is not in color. I can actually read my manga on my tablet, but I really don't want to. I like the fact that the manga is in black and white. I don't need a color e-reader to look at something that's black and white. A black and white e-reader is perfect. You can archive books, like if you don't want the books to be there, you can archive them and they will go somewhere in the universe. Now, one of the big appeals of Nook tablets or Nook devices is that you don't get hit with advertisements. So the thing I like about this is you got the page turn buttons, which Kindle had with the Oasis, and then they got rid of it. It seems like to me that with Amazon, they bring out some really cool features, and then they get rid of them because they're too popular, and that would make them look too much like a competitor. But you have these page turn buttons. This is backwards, this is forward. But if you're reading something like a manga, this is forward and this is backwards. So depending on what kind of book you're reading, it will be which buttons you can actually use to go forward. The battery life is really good. Well, I'm going to be honest, I hadn't used this device in a month, so of course the battery power is going to be good. But if I'm in the middle of reading a book or a manga or a comic book or whatever, the battery will stay up there for as long as possible. But I do like the fact is that the app that they base it on, like your recommendations is based on like what books you've read. They don't ever try to get you to buy books that you don't want to buy. And my tablet, anytime I finished a book, it automatically said, hey, yeah, this is the next book in the series. Now, great thing about that is I could download a sample, and at some point in the future, I would read the sample, decide, oh, yeah, this is something that I would really want to read, and then I can just pay for it with the, from the sample. I'll get my glasses on here. So it says you got like Secrets of the Silent Witch Volume 1. I actually bought from it's by Scott Snyder, American Vampire #1. That is a graphic novel. It was 99 cents. Watch it say $1. And then here. So these are all of my. I would say this is my raunchy manga. Then you got One Piece. You got Secrets of the Silent Witch. These are samples. Volume 6 is a sample. Volumes 1 and 2 are not. I have paid for them. And then of course on the books it will show you like how far you have to go before you're done with it. I have 25 pages of books. And then just like with Kindle, they will bunch them up together if they're a part of the same series, like the Haunting Danielle series. I've got 5 books in that series. Now, if you don't want to use the things, you can just press it, and then it just moves you on. And I'm almost done with the Steamborn Trilogy box set. I will get to it some point this year. But yeah, the buttons really help because you can do that. I have not read I haven't read the Booktown series in a month, so I'm going to actually start on number 3. So, and then you can kind of tap this button a little bit, and you're back to it. And then you go to the store, and you can, they have the Nook Daily Finds, and you have the sub ones, and you can kind of swipe this. And it's like continue the series, and you have books under $5. One of the things that really kind of gets me about people is they're like, oh, ebooks are so expensive. Ebooks are so expensive. I have spent, as far as ebooks are concerned, since I started back reading them on my Nook, maybe $100. But because I don't really buy or acquire books like all the time, I'm not really spending, a bunch of money on books. So you have like continue the series, and like let's see here, like if you start a series, and then you got books that are connected to that series. I already read Murder at the Taffy Shop, so I'm not interested in that. But Murder is a Piece of Cake by Valerie Burns. I have not read the first book, so I'm not interested in the second book. But yeah, you got just a lot of like books that they think that you're going to enjoy, and then you press a little button, and you're back to the screen. You got motivation books. They finally got rid of the Christmas ones. I am so happy about that. Yeah, and then Spotlight is Jim Butcher. So because 12 Months came out, Barnes & Noble was spotlighting him, which is really great. And then what I did was I did explore my favorites. So let's see here. I want to do mystery, crime, and thrillers. And you got this, and then you can explore, and we can go right to let's see here, let's see here, women detective fiction. Then, you got this. Oh, looks like Jen McKinley's bringing out another book called Booking for Trouble. Then you can go and see everything. And it's a really great device. You can spend hours just shopping on here. Um, it's just really amazing about what you can do. Um, let's see here. Let's do detective fiction. And yeah, it's like you see all titles and see here FBI K9 Mystery, which is 99 cents. Then it says 3 serial killer crime thrillers with a twist. Press the arrow to go back. And you just scroll down until you find, they got Bone Behind the Wheel, a haunted something. They got Thursday Murder Club, which I already have. See How They Hide. So yeah, there's a lot of like great ones, and if you want to get out of there, you can just press this little motion thing. Hold on a second. And you're back to it. Alright. So, in the 9 months that I have owned this device, what have I personally loved about it? Well, one of the big things is that it's not Amazon. It's not Amazon. You can spend your money on the Barnes, like you can go on the Barnes and Noble website and you can look through their ebook titles and you can order it and it will pop up on your thing. I love it because unlike the Kindle Paperwhite and the Kindle Colorsoft, you can actually read manga. And this is something that, if I'm going to buy manga, I will buy it for my Nook. I honestly, as much as I love Kobo and everything, I happen to love reading manga on my Nook. It's large enough to where you can see things, you can see words, conversations. I have not yet fully, I just got American Vampire, so I don't really know, if I'm going to be able to read the words. I will say one of the cons of it is I have not yet discovered how to basically get it bigger so I can see the words. But as far as reading manga, like One Piece, I don't know, Cardcaptor Sakura, Sailor Moon, Barnes & Noble has a larger selection of manga than Kobo does. And that is totally fine. I am not upset about that at all. Another pro of it is that I have not yet heard of Barnes & Noble taking titles off of people's devices, so I'm going to make the big assumption that it is going to be safe for me to buy ebooks and read them on the device. Also, unlike my Nook Glowlight 4, I get more text on my reader than on that one. So I do love it. I do love it. Another big pro, I am not hit with books that I have no desire to read, and it's just been a lot of fun. So this is actually one of my favorite Nooks to have. I love it. I love being able to read manga. I love being able to just to be able to, and also I believe there's more memory on here than on the Nook Glowlight 4. Anyways, oh yeah, one more thing. Con, not really as much as, any cons. I know Barnes & Noble's trying to get into like the library thing, which I do commend them for, and I really do hope they succeed. I don't really have cons when it comes to this, but I will tell anyone who is thinking about, doing this, understand that you're entering an ecosystem that's not Amazon. And when you're entering an ecosystem that's not Amazon, you're going to be disappointed in several areas. But I really think that at the end of the day, not supporting Amazon, not giving them your money is, I think, far more important than following any kind of author. You have to have standards. You have to have some kind of moral compass, because in this day and age, a lot of people don't have it. Alright, so I give this reader 5 stars. I will do one final review of this Nook when I hit the 1 year mark. That will be in April. Okay, that is my video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys around. Bye.